Hey everyone, Red Rebel Jeff Jones here. So, in this video, I want to talk about a story that kind of popped up a couple of days ago here in Ireland, and I just thought it'll be interesting to actually cover it. It's a story about a judge's comments after he reduced the compensation award for an injured cyclist who was involved in a collision between him and a car. I think it's raised an interesting point around cyclists and the attitude towards them with regards to their status as road users. And I think kind of what the judge said also hits home to a lot of drivers like myself. So I want to be using the Cork's Red FM Facebook post on this. Circuit Court judge has labelled cyclists as quote unquote a nightmare. Judge James O'Donoghue has reduced the €50,000 compensation award by 80% to €10,000, claiming that the injured cyclist was mainly responsible for the accident. He had no helmet or high-vis safety vest, had no lights on his bike, and had not given any signal of his intentions. The judge said, "You never know with cyclists what they are going to do, or anticipate what they are going to do. Cyclists have really become a nightmare. Quote unquote, is this unfair? I think it's actually a bit unfair, like that when he says that the cyclist was mainly responsible for the accident, he still got an award of 10 grand. Now, I'm not fully sure about the circumstances here, but from what I have read, the cyclist turned without indicating about his turns because you use your hand signals to turn left or right. He didn't do that. He turned and a car hit him. Again, he wasn't wearing a helmet or high visibility safety vest, had no lights on him, so that make him more visible, and he hadn't given any signal of his intentions. I think it's a little unfair to say that the cyclist, that it's unfair to the cyclist. I don't think it's unfair to the cyclist at all here. I think cyclists, I want to be honest, they need to be treated more harshly here as roads users because it's an interesting one. Because they're classed as road users here in Ireland and in a lot of other places. But yet they're not treated as road users. Like, they don't have to pay tax like car drivers do. They don't have to have equipment like high visibility vests or lights on them. They're not, I don't, as far as I'm aware, they're not technically required to use the hand signals left or right. But yet, when it comes to driving a car drivers are required to use the indicators to signal where they're going. They are required to have the lights on at night. So, what is it about cyclists that they get away with it? I think that's an unfairness. I think a lot of car drivers, like myself, feel about this. Now, the way the Road Safety Authority here in Ireland will put it is that well, cyclists are vulnerable road users, so drivers need to be more careful around them. And I get that to an extent, definitely. Like whenever I'm like overtaking a cyclist, I think it's 1 meter under 50 and 1.5 meters over 50 is they have to give them. I almost always go into the other lane completely to give them as much room as I can give them. So I give them as much room as I can. So we're both safe. So I do take precautions in that sense. But I think it's also fair to say that the cyclist should also be taking precautions. Like, I think it should be mandatory for them to be wearing high vis vests, have lights on their bike. Like, and saying, like, you can't really say that putting the lights on bikes is expensive. It's not. They're pretty much dirt cheap these days. It's a very simple lights. I think they should, if they want to be using the road, they should be paying a road tax. No, not as high as the car tax here in Ireland. Like the car tax is like mine is about what's it about 180, 190, something like that. I can't recall off the top of my head, but it's like say maybe 15, 20 quid maybe. Like they're paying taxes. And I think there really needs to be a crackdown on cyclists that don't really take these precautions because they want to be road users, but they don't want the responsibility of road users. And to use a leftist phrase, a left wing political phrase here, it's a serious inequality that I think needs to be talked about and I think it needs to be addressed. Like, I think judges that call out stuff like this that a lot of people feel, I think it's kind of understandable. So, what do you guys think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and do not forget to subscribe to keep up with my latest videos. This is really an interesting story, and I think it raises a conversation that I think needs to be had. Um, now, the Irish Cycle Association or something like that have said that the judge's comments were unfair, but then the Irish Haulage Association said that they weren't unfair, that there's actually a lot of sense and a lot of truth to it. So I'd be more on saying that there's more truth in it than it being unfair. I think we really need to have this conversation in the political system in Ireland. And I'd say a lot of other countries need to have this conversation too. Because I kind of noticed something, it's a similar kind of thing in the UK as well. I don't know too much about the UK, I've only been there a couple of times. But yeah, it's a conversation that needs to be had.